big fight weekend. You had a big old fight weekend, UFC 310. Not only is 310 some news, but you had a lot of big announcements as far as 311 and just a bunch of other fights going on, which I'm sure we'll get to. You got Strickland, DDP. You got Tatiana Suarez finally getting her shot, even though she's been super inactive, which is weird because she's supposed to fight Saturday night. And then they're like, actually, we know she's been inactive. Here's a title shot, which I'm all about because I do think she's the best in the world. DDP, Sean Strickland's going down, which we'll get to all that. But you had UFC 310. Full transparency, I told you guys from the bottom to the top to the first fight on the prelim with your boy Kennedy to the last fight on the main card with Pantoja, top to bottom, I thought it was the most quality card of the year. I started watching at 3 p.m. I was crunk for this. I had all my ducks in a row. Kids were down to watch it with me. Wifey, mother and father-in-law over. It was a big deal. So from 3 p.m. to about, it probably ended around 9:30, 10? Probably 10. After Schaub, Ian Machado Gary, I fell asleep. Mm-hmm. I fell asleep while Pantoja was walking out.
Same. Total same.
We're just getting older, dude.
Yeah. Sleepy guys.
Is it we're getting older? Or we just don't give a shit about the flyweight division. Because would you have fell asleep if it was John Jones, Tom Aspinall?
Dang, you're right.
Right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't. It's so disrespectful. But it's just my body going, they're tiny. I know, but I'm really into it, man. They're super talented. My body goes, nah, you're tired. Take a little snooze, bud. This is time to do it. But I went straight to bed. I'm not going to lie to you. I went straight to bed and I watched it in the morning. I finished it in the morning.
Same. And I was watching from 3 p.m. the day before and then woke up and my girl was like, how could there possibly be more fights? I was like, I fell asleep. I got to finish the main event.
You got to catch that main event. So I paid for it. I'm going to get my money's worth. Yeah. I'm going to rewind it. I'm going to get that main event. I'm going to start it from the walkout. I want the full experience. Even though I'm kind of bored, I want the full experience.
Did you stay off social media and not see the result on social media?
Literally impossible for me because so many people in the sport text me, so I knew the result, and so many people text me where it's impossible for me unless I just completely get off the phone. No text. I can avoid social media, not see the spoilers, but just from text. And when you open it up, even if you don't click on the text, it'd be like, oh my God. And you're just like, all right.
Yeah.
You guys just watched it. You watched it at the new crib with wifey?
Yep.
Does she like fights?
No.
Not into it at all.
Not at all. But she does her thing and lets me, she's not like, putting up a fuss about it. She's like, yeah, do your thing, watch your fights. I'm going to do my thing.
Oh, she's just like on a laptop, like looking at Etsy or some shit.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Bitches be crazy, dude. Chan, where'd you watch it?
I watched it at Nick's. We did a live stream, and Casey was part of Casey zoomed in to the live stream.
Hilarious.
So we were just watching together. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Nick's live streams. That's cool. Let's get into the card, man. Like I told you, from top to the very bottom, this was the most quality card of the year. It did not disappoint. Some of the stuff I told you, if you remember from last Monday's show, I told you Bryce Mitchell, Cron Gracie could be very weird and boring if they decide to just give us terrible striking. And Shavkat Ian Machado Gary could be boring if Ian Machado Gary wins. Shavkat and Machado I didn't think was boring, but it's not going to blow your hair back. We'll get to that. But those were the two I told you about. I thought the judging was horrendous. That, what is it, Aldine Bird or whatever? Remember, she did the Canelo Triple G one. Clearly, from the great Joe Rogan, the quote is, I'm sure she's a nice lady, but so is my mom. I don't want her judging. I don't know if she's a nice lady. That's going on a limb there. I think she's corrupt as shit and probably taking money under the table and just doesn't know fighting. And she's probably, probably should be put out to the pasture. But, if you're a fighter, it's terrible, man. Terrible. She royally fucked over some of these guys. Royally fucked over. Biggest one being Volkov. How you score that for Cyril Gane in any facet is insane. I thought Aljo also won, but when you have judges like that, bud, if you don't get a finish, you're leaving it up to those judges, and they're idiots, you're kind of screwed. So yeah, I thought Aljo probably won. I had Volkov winning. And that's about it as far as the bad judging goes. But yeah, Kennedy to open the curtains looked great. Chase Hooper, he's kind of coming to his own. He was that young kid, kind of had some issues, which is all good. And then now he's just this monster. Clay Guida probably should retire. Michael Chiesa looked fantastic. Eric Anders, Chris Weidman, Chris Weidman should probably hang it up.
Chris dropped him in the first round, but that was pretty much it.
Yeah, I don't know why he's sticking around, but you never know. Brian Battle, he's a bummer because he had so much hype on him. I think Brian Battle's so talented, and then obviously missing weight to that magnitude is pretty messed up. And then the split decision. Mosarv and Aljo, I thought that was a fun fight. I know, there's not a ton of striking, but I thought it was a good fight. I thought Aljo pulled it off, but all good. Vicente Luque looked phenomenal. My God. He looked fantastic. Dominic Reyes, Anthony Smith. That one was tough to watch. Anthony Smith should not have been fighting. He's already kind of on the very, very back nine. Back nine, I mean, he's on the 18th hole, and it's over, and he keeps doing it. But then also his best friend and coach passed away, so he probably shouldn't have been in there.
Yep.
And there were some red flags going into it because in the pre-fight stuff content, he was saying, it's not even about winning. I just got to, get in there and release this pain or whatever the hell he's doing. It's like, oh no. And you're fighting Dominic Reyes. That ain't the guy to do it against, man. Dominic Reyes surging, but with Anthony Smith, the toughest thing is you knew something was going on there, and he finally, I can't imagine what he's dealing with. Shout out to him. And you do got to be a professional, but to that extent, he should have skipped this one. I'm sure the UFC would have understood. He put his hands down and wanted to hit him. He's like, I just need to feel something. Like, good God, dude, this ain't the sport to do it in. Professional fighting ain't the thing to just go in there and hope you can, get through it. That was tough to watch. Probably should be his last one. I wouldn't mind. He's the only guy. Like, we'll go through who should probably leave the UFC, and they're probably going to have no choice. Anthony Smith isn't one of those guys. If you want to do one more, I understand, because obviously the circumstances, his best friend and, coach passing away, not in the right frame of mind. You don't want to go out on that note. I think they should give him one more. I also think, again, for the UFC, it's tough because it's not like Clay Guida, Chris Weidman, and Crone Gracie, take Crone out of that. But it's not like Clay Guida, Chris Weidman, and Anthony Smith told the UFC they were going to dip out, But it'd be nice at the end, you bring all three back to the octagon. You have like a tribute video, do a nice send-off. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. But the guys it's always prickly. Where they're like, no, I got one more. And the UFC's like, you don't, though. And then they get an argument, and then they just get cut, and then who knows? So it's tough. But yeah, all three of them should probably stop. But Anthony Smith is the one. Clay Guida, Chris Weidman, definitely it's over. But Anthony Smith, you could give him one more. Not for, I think, 6 to 8 months at least. And then give him one more. You give him a favorable matchup. And we know going into it that it's his last one. You give him the proper send-off. He is part of the commentary team. He does a lot of the analyst stuff. So that'd be the right thing to do. That'd be the right thing to do. In the main event, your boy Chu Do-Ho. What's up?
Do-Ho Choi.
Korean Superboy, man.
I know. That was clean, dude.
That wasn't even a fight.
Oh.
I see some people like, it was a great fight to kick off the card. I'm like, Nate just didn't look like himself. He was so slow. He just couldn't get off. It was just like a one-sided fight. So one-sided. I don't know if something's going on there. And there seems to be something going on, like with Shavkat, with Cyril Gahn. All of a sudden now, they were injured. Okay. That's why they look bad? Okay.
Yeah, it was strange when Cyril left the octagon.
Because he didn't win the fight.
Yeah.
He didn't win the fight. He was so upset he left, His stock has fallen so hard. That's worst case for the division, too. You're just like, I guess this guy deserves a big fight. He just doesn't look good. His grappling looked bad. He had he looked like improved with some of his shots. Like his double leg was good, but hanging on to that Kimura, falling for that heel hook, giving up position, like you know.